You were probably expecting a Wano Part 2 review this week, and the truth is Wano, especially Part 2, more so than Part 1, is so dense. It is so packed with so much information that I considered just pushing through so that I could get a review out to you this week, but truthfully, I just don't wanna. I wanna take my time with it. I wanna soak it in. So instead, this week, you're getting a arc tier ranking, excluding Wano, because I'm not done with it, and no one is. All of the completed arcs, we are going to talk about how I feel about them, where I would rank them. I didn't make this tier list. It was made by Landon Twit. Thank you, sir. I will link this down in the description if you want to also do your own ranking alongside me. But we are going to talk about what I personally think, how I rank them for how I've enjoyed these arcs so far. A little bit of context if you are new to me. One Piece is my first, it's the manga series, it's not the first manga series that I tried, but it is the first one that has hooked me. And it's the first one I've fallen in love with. So I'm really inexperienced with manga. I also have only read through up to Wano one time. The first 3 sagas I've read twice, but everything else has only been read one time, and my memory is terrible. So I probably know less than you, but based off of my first time through One Piece, having fallen so ridiculously in love with this series, but also, this is only my first time through, so probably a lot of the foreshadowing stuff, a lot of the little nuggets that you get on rereads, I haven't gotten to experience yet. So, based off of my first time through the series, this is how I rank the arcs. Okay, let's do it. So for the tiers, I have labeled them masterpiece, incredible, great, good, fine, and Oda doesn't do bad arcs. Because truthfully, there's not a single arc that I've read so far that I've just not liked. There are some that I've considered fine. I didn't mind reading it. It was okay. But there's nothing that I've read and said, that was a bad arc. You did a bad job, Oda. So we're just not going to use that line. There have been plot points or scenes that I could say I would consider bad, but there has not been a bad arc for me. So we're going to start with Romance Dawn, the first arc. And a little bit of context, I really enjoyed the first saga. The first time I read it, having so little experience with manga and having absolutely no idea what this series was going to be or what I was getting into, I still had a great time. I think the first saga is quite good. Really, from the first volume, I had a great time with this series. I think that it had this feeling of childlike wonder. I felt like Luffy was the perfect protagonist to introduce me into this silly, kooky, yet so much depth to it world. Luffy, I was able to stand next to him and see the wonder of this world through his eyes. And as he experienced the different places in this world, I felt like I wanted to explore it too with that same level of childlike excitement. And the first time I read through this first saga and these first arcs, I really enjoyed them. The second time through, once I had context and once I had truly fallen in love with the series, was when I appreciated Romance Dawn so much more. It's such a great establishing point. And I think that that's true because me, someone who really didn't know anything about manga, or I didn't even know that I didn't know anything. I still was able to sink into it and love it. So I think that that alone is a good example of how good this beginning is. But then once I love Shanks and once I have fallen for so many things, it just added so much more. So I truly think it's incredible. I think that this is an incredible beginning to this series. Orangetown. I really enjoy Orangetown for the beginning with Zoro. Man, I love Zoro and I love Luffy and Zoro together, just the two of them. I think that Nami was an excellent introduction. I think that Orangetown does a really good job of establishing the snobby rich kid and kind of establishing what Luffy's values and morals are and the things that are important to him. We get our first really big punch out of it, our first time of Luffy saying, yeah, I understand the situation. I know what's going on here. I'm gonna punch him anyway. I'm actually really not a huge fan of Buggy's introduction, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Buggy is one of my favorite characters now, but his introduction into the series didn't win me over to him at all. So I like Orangetown a lot. Do I love it? Am I obsessed with it? No. I would say that it's good. It's quite good. Like top of good. Next we have Syrup Village, and that's fine. I don't have a lot to say about Syrup Village. It's fine. I didn't like Usopp's introduction. I think that he was fine. Oh, Nami's introduction was in Orangetown too, wasn't it? Great introduction. I love Nami's character so much. Anyway, Syrup Village. Did not like Usopp's introduction. The town was pretty interesting. The villain wasn't. I really like his cat claws. I really like the glasses reveal, but his plan was very convoluted and quite frankly kind of stupid. And it went on for too long. For too long. It was fine. It was okay. Meh. Bartier was great. I love Sanji's introduction. I love the Zoro versus Mihawk, their first battle, and oh my goodness, I just have so many ideas of how it's gonna come back around and win. There's some things that I don't love about Bartier, and I still don't fully connect with Sanji's mission of I will feed everybody that is hungry, even if they will then turn around and try to kill me immediately after. I feel like I understand that motivation far more now that I've read Whole Cake Island, but I still don't really connect with it, and that's a big theme here. I like Bartier a lot. I think it's good. Do I think it's great? I think it's better than Orangetown, right? Maybe, probably, yes. I'm gonna leave it there. We'll see if I move it around. Arlong Park, boom, easy. I love Arlong Park. I think that there is a reason that people say get through the first 12 volumes before you judge this series, before you decide to drop it or continue on. I think by then you've gotten so much depth out of the series and you see a taste of what Oda can do. And after rereading this first saga and getting back to Arlong Park and getting back to how much Oda digs into what Nami and her village have been through, how much she's sacrificed for them, and how much Luffy is willing to do for his crew, that simple scene of him passing off the hat is, I don't know, guys. And then the amount that Oda builds on Arlong Park with Fishman Island and with other arcs where he takes this base and he just keeps expanding it. Arlong Park, whew, it's so good. Next we have Logitown? Logitown? I really don't know how to say it. This tiny little arc where they go back and visit the place where Roger was executed. One of my favorite panels in the series is here, that one where Luffy is standing in front of the execution stand thing, and it's just quiet. It's just this very simple, empty panel that just feels very quiet, and like I can feel the impact of this moment for Luffy. We meet Dragon there, and he probably maybe controls the weather. I still don't really know if his devil fruit controls the weather, but I think maybe to some capacity it does. Oh, this is the one where we meet Smoker, isn't it? When he says, "I'm sorry my pants ate your ice cream," right? Isn't that it? Oh, what a great introduction to Smoker. And a great introduction to the sword chick too, whose name I've forgotten. Oh, this is a great, you know what? This is a great arc. This is a great arc. Okay, so Basta, forgive me, there's a lot of arcs in this saga that do little things and they kind of cross over a lot. So forgive me if I get the order of things wrong. But Reverse Mountain, first of all, I love the beginning of every saga. Every saga starts out with so much of the crew just having fun and goofing off and being awesome together. And then, you know, disaster hits. So I really, really love the beginnings of arcs. Of sagas, I mean. So Reverse Mountain has that going for it. Then, this is where we're swallowed by Laboon. And this is where we meet Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine. Am I right about that? I don't like Miss Wednesday's introduction. I don't like the character that she was before she became Vivi. I know that Oda she was a throwaway character. She was just there and she was not going to be Vivi. And then he ended up turning her into the incredible character that we all know and love now. You better know and love. You better love her. I love Vivi, but I don't like her beginning. I do love Laboon, but his beginning also, you know, it takes time to get the layers of who Laboon is. So I think I might just call Reverse Mountain good. I think that's where I am with it. Whiskey Peak, I think I would put it in the same area. Little Garden, I love and adore. It's an island that's stuck in a prehistoric era. There are dinosaurs. There is a lush, gorgeous, amazing island. There are, oh, it's the one, isn't it? When we face off against Mr. 3 and Zoro does the pose. Yeah, and it's the one with the two giants that are locked in combat for 100 years. They don't even remember why they're still fighting, but the honor of battle. And this is where Usopp and Luffy, and I think Zoro too, definitely Usopp and Luffy just get it. They just get it, and they're there to help them. Mr. 3 interferes. Oh, it's so good. I love Little Island. I don't necessarily think that it's one of the best arcs, but it is so solid and so enjoyable, and I really, really like it. I think I'm gonna put it, oh, is it before Luke? It's either Where Do You Belong? I'm gonna put it here for now. I feel like that feels good to me. So in Little Island, Nami got sick. And, oh man, I don't remember if it's the end of Little Island or the beginning of Drum Island where Vivi makes the choice to derail saving her kingdom from Crocodile or helping Nami, and she makes the choice to help Nami, and the reaction of the crew when she makes that choice. We get to know the old lady that Chopper loves so much. We get the backstory of the doctor that he tried to save. We get his speech. There's a lot of goodness here. I don't love Drum Island. I do really, really like it, and when I reread it, there were so many scenes that I appreciated so much. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Drum Island is the one where Luffy and Sanji carry Nami up the mountain. Oh man, and it's a fun time. I enjoy that. There's some great character moments. That last moment when Luffy is carrying them both up the mountain and he gets to the top. Wow, you know what? Drum Island really is great. I'm gonna put it at the back of great. Is it before Little Garden? My enjoyment level for Little Garden is higher because I'm a child and I just love dinosaurs and forests and prehistoric areas and giants fighting, and it's just fun. But Drum Island has more impactful moments. Little Island, I think, has impactful moments, but not as many as Drum Island. So Drum Island probably deserves to be before Little Garden, but my enjoyment level is Little Garden first. So that's what I should do, right? Arabasta, masterpiece. Before, after Arlong, I think I'm gonna put it after. Arabasta, for now, we'll see if I change that up. Arabasta is still one of my favorite arcs, easily. There's so much that I love about this arc. I love Crocodile. He's one of my favorite antagonists we have in the series. I love that old man that's hoping for rain and just waiting. Oh, he's one of my favorite characters in the whole series. I love the, gosh, Oda does so much with the parallels with Luffy and with Croc and with how much symbolism he puts into that fight. That fight, the end of the fight when the rain falls, honestly, like even thinking about it gets me choked up. It's so powerful. Vivi, her entire character is incredible, and that scene at the end with them raising their arms, you know what I'm talking about. It's just, there's so many moments in Arabasta that absolutely floor me, that just hit me exactly right. I think that Oda wrote a masterpiece with this arc. Pel's sacrifice is one of the parts that I think is a masterpiece. I think that Pel's sacrifice is one of the most impactful moments in the series, and it is also one of Oda's worst sins as a writer, taking that back. I don't like the fake out deaths. I don't like the constant fake out deaths. There's so many in the series, and I don't like them, and this is one of the worst ones, and I hate it. Hate it. But it's still a masterpiece because he didn't even take it back in that arc, so I can't even punish that arc for it, right? Jaya. Jaya is a great arc. It's a really great arc. I think it's a really impactful arc, meeting Blackbeard and the scene with, why can't I think of his name? Bellamy. When Bellamy is antagonizing Luffy and hitting him. And I love how the way Bellamy comes back around and how important his character, at least to me, ends up being. I really love the arc of this character. The ship falling from the sky and the log post pointing up, like there's so much. And then we also get the beginning of Noland here, right? There's so much when the treasure is stolen and then Luffy goes after it. Man, I really like Jaya. We're gonna put it at the top of great. Skypia. Now I don't know what common opinion is about any of these really. I'm not, unfortunately yet, I'm not very involved in the fandom just yet because I'm trying so hard to avoid spoilers. I'm kind of just like keeping to myself. So there's a lot of what the fandom thinks that I just genuinely don't know. So forgive me if any of this is terribly controversial, but you know, whatever, it's what I think. Skypia was the arc that won me over to One Piece fully. The first time I read it. It was the one that made me go, oh wait, this isn't just a fun time. There's a ton of things that are connecting and being set up. I saw so much of the details that Oda was doing and investing in the story here that he was going to pay off later, and he was starting to pay off here. And I started seeing the layers to the series more than ever before the first time I read Skypia. And this was the moment that I kind of went in wonder, and I realized how big and intentional the series really was. So this is an important arc for me. That said, on reread, I really didn't enjoy it nearly as much. There's so much ground laying that Oda does here. There's so much foundation that Oda sets in Skypia, and that's really fun. The world is gorgeous in Skypia. I love reading Skypia for just how beautiful it is. But I don't love Enel as an antagonist. I don't know if that's controversial. Do people love Enel? I don't. He is evil, and it's easy to hate him, but I also am pretty irritated about how many times people got struck by lightning and just like, we're fine. I mean, this is a really tough world. People are built tough here, but it was wild. Enel was supposed to be a god. He was supposed to be really, really big and important, and oh my goodness, did it really not seem like he was all that powerful after like an old man got up after getting struck by lightning, and Zoro got struck like 5 times. That's an exaggeration, but too many times to just keep getting up. And Zoro also will cut his own legs off nearly, or like get halfway through and then keep walking. So I mean, maybe I'm being too nitpicky here, but for whatever reason, Enel kind of frustrated me because while he's easy to hate and he's evil and he's awful, I also was really irritated about how OP he's supposed to be, but then you see him in action and he didn't seem quite so OP. Am I being controversial right now? I'm putting Skypia at the top of good. Actually, honestly, no, top of good. Long Ring Long Island is it fine or is it good? Top of fine. I really enjoyed Long Ring Long Land. Yeah, Long Ring Long Land. I really enjoyed it. It was right after I fell totally and deeply in love with the series. I went straight into Long Ring Long Land. Actually, I watched G8 first. Is that what it's called? And anyway, I went straight into Long Ring Long Land. I loved just how fun that one was. I think the island was fun. Zoro and Sanji constantly bickering and breaking out into fights around every corner was awesome. This was the first arc where I watched the anime, and the only arc where I watched it all the way through. And oh my goodness, was that a mistake? Because why? It was so long. Why did they extend it and make it worse? Anyway, Long Ring Long Land. Yeah, it was, I enjoyed it. It was a good time. I had a good time with it. Should I do it? I'll put it here. I think it's one of the weakest arcs, but I did enjoy it. Water 7, easy masterpiece. Move, Arlong. He's so stubborn. Okay. Water 7 is to date still my favorite arc in all of One Piece. I'm in part 2 of Wano, and still Water 7 is it for me. Water 7 has some of the highest highs and lowest lows. Water 7 and its lobby really kind of like grouped together in my mind, but Water 7, them breaking through that wall when they had the seahorses and they were rushing through, and and they were like, we're going to crash. And I think Zoro turned to Sanji, or Sanji turned to Zoro and said, wall, do you see a wall? And the other one goes, nope, I don't see anything. And then they just bust through it. Oh, there's so many moments like that in Water 7 that just are so cool. Water 7 is both impactful and fun and nothing. While there are arcs that are more emotionally impactful than Water 7, nothing hits me in the emotions yet so much fun. Nothing hits me with those levels like Water 7 does. Water 7 is, it's my favorite arc. Enies Lobby is also incredible. Would I call it a masterpiece or would I just call it incredible? I think I'm actually gonna put it in incredible. I love Enies Lobby, but I don't think I love it to the extent of these three that are up top. We have Robin's I Wanna Live moment. We have a lot of, is it in Enies Lobby that we get the reveal of CP9? Or is that in Water 7? Because that's one of my favorite reveals of the entire series, of them actually being antagonists. Did not see it coming, blew me out of the water. I love a good betrayal. And this is a betrayal that stuck, not one that like Violet, where it's like, oh no, she betrayed us. No, actually it's fine, she's on our side. And Pudding. I love this betrayal because it's stuck, which just made it so much more impactful to me. I don't know which arc that was in, but that's what I love. See, Water 7 and Enies Lobby, I feel like I view them together, but I know that I enjoyed Water 7. I think Mary's funeral was in Enies Lobby. And that is one of the biggest cry moments of the series for me. Not the biggest, but one of them. I'm keeping it at incredible. That feels right to me. Enies Lobby, I've also read twice because the first time I read it, I missed a lot of details, and so I just reread it later. I really enjoy this one. This is these short arcs, I feel like I don't need to spend a lot of time talking about, but we've got Shanks coming, speaking to Whitebeard. We see Blackbeard. There's a lot of really great stuff happening here. These little arcs, none of these little arcs are going to be my top arcs, but they are pretty much all great. So I think I'm gonna put it right there. Thriller Bark. I do know that a lot of the fandom hates Thriller Bark, which is understandable because it is very different from the rest of the series. I love Gothic stories. Classic Gothic stories are some of my favorite books that I read. And I think that Oda nailed those Gothic vibes so well. I enjoyed it so much. Also, the crew is split up, but this time they're split up with the strong characters and the weak characters. Weaker. Am I allowed to say that? I hear power scaling is like a really... Don't do that. Is it fine that I just did that? Did I just do that? I don't really know. The strong characters and the weak characters are separated, and we get a lot of time of seeing the weak characters having to fend for themselves and being stronger. Oh, I just remembered Enies Lobby is the bubble scene, isn't it? Yeah, that's when we have the chick that turns into like a bubble lamb or whatever. It deserves to be an incredible. Yeah, I made the right choice. Anyway, Thriller Bark. We have so many great scenes in Thriller Bark. We also have Absalom, which is one of my least favorite characters in the series, and we also have one of the worst Sanji moments in the series. So, I love Thriller Bark. I think Oda hit those Gothic vibes perfectly. It does have some lows, it does have some highs. Honestly, I think it belongs in great. Right there. I think it's great. I think it's a great arc. It has the nothing happened scene. I think it's a great arc. Sabati Appalachio, Archipelago. I have no idea how to say this name. I call it the Not Island because it's technically not an island. It is a masterpiece. Nothing has made me cry harder in the series than this. Is that true? I think that's true. I don't think anything's matched it. I've cried a lot in the series, but I think nothing's gotten me like this one did. I'm gonna put it above Arabasta, below Arlong Park. Feels fine. Amazon Lily. I think people like this arc. I think it's okay. I actually don't love it. We get hockey was hinted at before this, but this is the first time we really get concrete learning about hockey. It had a lot of potential as far as the world building, but I don't actually think that the world building was I wish he had dug deeper into what an island full of nothing but women would have looked like, but he didn't dig that deep into it, which is not typical Oda. And I don't know, it just didn't, the world of this one, the culture of this one, didn't really impress me all that much, but was wonderful. But, honestly, can I be controversial here? Move, Foxy. Dude, you're so full of yourself. Honestly, I think it was fine. Maybe upon reread, I will think that it's better than fine. In fact, probably on reread, this is probably one that I'm going to enjoy more on reread, but after first read, this is where I put it. Impel Down is incredible. Honestly, is it? It really is. Impel Down is one of those that, as far as impact-wise, it's kind of low, but as far as fun-wise, it's really high. And we're in like a torture prison. So should it be so fun? It is, because we get Buggy again, and Mr. 3 is really funny in this one, and Jimbei plays such an amazing role. And who else do we get? Crocodile is here, and Crocodile is amazing. Honestly, all my favorite antagonists, this is where Buggy won my heart. He didn't win my heart in Orangetown. He won my heart here. And Crocodile is back, and he's always got my heart. And Mr. 3 is an antagonist that I didn't even like. I actually fully hated him. He's horrible, but he's really funny here. And I love seeing Luffy and Buggy team up. I love, and Buggy and Mr. 3 teaming up. This is fun. This is a really, and Magellan? Poison poop guy? He was a great antagonist. Oh, and then we have the Blackbeard moment. Move. This, no, yeah, right there. That's good. This arc was incredible. Marineford. Is it gonna be a masterpiece or is it gonna be incredible? Right, it's a masterpiece. Is it a masterpiece? Is that fair? I feel like I'm playing a little bit loose with the masterpiece word now. I do think the way that Oda handled Ace's death and then Luffy going, just quitting and having to be carried out was masterfully done. It's a masterpiece. As someone who, of all the things that One Piece offers, the fights it's probably one of the lowest things on my list of things that I care about. I enjoy Oda's fights, but I don't really care about fights that much. I'm here for the themes, I'm here for the characters, I'm here for the world. And the fights, cool. I enjoy them. But this is an arc that is a big long fight. And I loved it on the level that I did. So I think that that's pretty masterful. I'm gonna put it there because that feels right. PostWar was incredible. Move Innis. PostWar was incredible. Luffy's grieving, the establishing of, Jimbei. Actually, Luffy's grieving and Jimbei holding him and forcing him to stop and realize what he has left. Whoa, PostWar was really good. Return to the Knot Island. It was really great to see the crew come back together. I did really enjoy that. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna, Jaya. Everybody's being very territorial right now. I'm gonna put it at the top of great. I really loved it. Now we have Fishman Island, which I know this is controversial because, oh my goodness, did I get comments about how bad my take was, but I don't care. Fishman Island was a masterpiece. Does that seem right? I'm really struggling with these masterpieces and what order they belong in. There, that feels right. I think that Fishman Island is one of the best deep looks into racism I've seen in fantasy. I think that it's one of the most gorgeous worlds Oda has built to date. Wano is competing for that though. I think that Hootie does not get enough credit as an antagonist. Swampy can choke, but Hootie was a great antagonist, and I will die on that hill. I think that Fishman Island was one of the best arcs. Punk Hazard was good. I'm actually going to put it way down here. I think that it was a really interesting world, and I think that it was good for setting up a lot of things that are getting paid off here in Wano, but It went on for way too long. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and chuck it way over here. It went on for way too long, and it wasn't interesting enough for how many chapters it had. It was good. It was great. Dressrosa was great. Why is that way down there? What are you doing, Murph? Okay. Dressrosa. No, she was right. Dressrosa was great. Doflamingo is one of the best antagonists, and one of the antagonists that I hate with the most genuine anger. I mean, you know, you can hate someone in a fictional way, but I hate Doflamingo. Dressrosa was quite long for what it was, but it also had so many great moments with Rebecca and with Kairos, and I did really like it. I'm gonna put it there. That feels good. I feel good about that. Zoe is incredible, easily. I think it belongs there, maybe even there. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. It belongs there. Zoe is one of my favorite arcs, for sure. I think it's gorgeous. I love getting to know the minks. I am someone who doesn't care about talking animals and doesn't need them in my stories, and Oda won me over to the minks completely. And the moment of Razo isn't here, Razo isn't here, Razo isn't here, Razo is safe and here. One of the top 3 most impactful moments of the series for me. One of the top 3 most gotcha moments. Didn't see it coming. Didn't even cross my mind. Absolutely nothing could have made me think that he was there and that they went through all that to protect him. Holy cow. And the moment, that is easily one of the most impactful moments. No, I'm going to leave it there. That feels right. And I think that Zoe is only going to go higher on my list the more I read, because there's still so much that I think Oda is going to add to that foundation. Oh, I love that arc. Whole Cake Island was a fantastic arc. I don't have a fantastic row, so is it incredible or is it great? Big Mom had potential as one of my favorite antagonists, but she wasn't. Sanji's personal arc in Whole Cake Island was brilliant, and I desperately needed it. The Rampage went on for too long, but the world is gorgeous and dark and terrible, and I really, really love Mom's family. A lot of times I connect with the villain, but the henchmen I don't connect with as much, and I did. I love Big Mom's henchmen, her family, her kids, more than I love most henchmen. So I think I'm gonna put it at the top of great. That feels right to me. Move. Gosh, everybody's just like, okay, thank you. Rivery, I haven't had enough time to really pay off very much of what happened there, so I'm just gonna put it in great. I'm gonna just chuck it like right around there. Feels, maybe I'll even just put it at the end of great. That feels good to me. Wano I can't do anything with, because not only am I not through the arc, no one is, but I also am not even deep enough into the arc to be able to say at this point I would put it here. So we're just gonna leave that one off the list. I feel good about this. I feel good about this. I feel good about this. I might even chuck Marineford there so I have a top 5, which feels a little bit more. No, Marineford was masterful. It was masterfully done. It deserves to be. Who cares about a top 5? I have a top 6. That's fine. Okay, that's my tier ranking. Yours is likely different. So I would love for you to fill this out as well. Put it where you would put it. And let's see. I don't really use social media. Where can I see yours? There will be something in the description where you can plug yours in so that we can all just kind of browse and peruse everybody's tier ranking. That would be fun. I think that would be fun. There'll be something in the description for that. Okay, there you go. That's my arc tier ranking as someone who's very new to manga, as someone who has only read through the series one time, although there are a few sagas that I have read twice. I love this series. I love it more than I love a lot of things. This series has been extremely impactful for me, and there's really not that many complaints that I have. I have loved reading through it so much, and I'm honestly a bit sad that I'm near caught up to week because boy, has this been a joy to read. Anyway, I am looking forward to seeing you guys' ARC ranking list. Wano Part 2 review will be up next week. I post videos every Tuesday through Friday. I'll see you again soon. Bye.